Welcome back, PlayBASIC coders. This week's been about making a backup tool. I won't bore you about the reasons for it, but you can probably guess. The tool's pretty much straightforward. It's all the same components that you would have seen me use before. They're on the forums if you really want to go use them. I made a slight variation with the menu stuff. Anyway, so you pick a backup. And it first does a run through, but only in test mode. You can just switch write mode on, go back, run your test, or run your backup, and that's been done. Go to the folder, and you've got nice new copies of those things. All the same components you would have seen me use before. There's nothing fresh, well, I guess there's a little bit fresh about the way some of it's done, but the code's on the forum, so up to you. In this one I'm using there's the text menu stuff, which is posted years ago. I like using this one now because I can decouple the menu from the functions we're calling, and I've added a bit of a change to this so you can actually do things like calling functions and passing parameters through, which is what the main menu here does. Just so you're aware of this stuff anyway. So here's our menu. It's just a bunch of text. Each row is one item in the menu, a clickable button in other words. This is the visible text. We have an event tagged in here, so we're going when there's an on click, in other words when you press the button, when you're hovering over the button and you press it, it will then call a function called this underneath. It doesn't pass any parameters though. That was one limitation of the older version. I've extended that a little bit in the secondary menu when we're choosing which backup to do. I'll show you it again actually. I've got to add a history thing. This is choosing the exterior or the target folder here. So this menu here, the on click on here is calling the backup function with the index of the particular script to run. And the way that's done, if we could find it, I think there it is there. Yeah, that's it. So we're running through our array full of backup scripts. The way it works is you write a script, and each script has certain actions in it. It just follows the actions through. So there might be a thing like copy this folder from the source location to the target. There might be copy file, but the ones I wanted to do mostly was to have it certain kinds of projects, like want to back up a C folder, for example, with some of the engine components in it, but I don't want it to copy temporary data like debug and release data. I can just use the like copy C folder kind of instruction, give it the source, and it will just dump it out to the target with those folders excluded. And same goes for normal copying folders and things like that. So I've added some features where I can exclude certain things from certain ones to make the backups leaner and quicker to make. But primarily for things like I wanted it to follow through the main source, actually phrase the source code, look inside the code, find all the components, and then spit them out. So what I end up with in the backup is all of the sources that are used in that build, not the ones that are older backups. Because often what I'll do is I'll keep all of the files and progressively rename them with whatever revision they belong to. So you end up with heaps of files that are actually no longer in use. To back up the whole folders, you might realize this is, I think it's about 3.5 gigabytes. So it's a lot of data. in that tree, and I don't want to do that every time because it just takes up too much space, but to grab certain parts of the documents and spit them out, that's all I wanted to do. The point I was trying to get to before is that I've added an on-click process to the menus. You can see it in here actually, scripts on-click equals open scripts with a pair of brackets. Now, the brackets allow us to have parameters pushed to this function we're calling in here. So if we go to create simple, if we go to the processing code, when we interact with the menu, we're just calling these functions in order. So you draw the thing, we check what actions happened during the drawing. Was the mouse hovering over something? Did you click on something in the mouse? If you did, these are dumped as an action that we should respond to. In this case, it's the on-click action it'll be. So it pulls it apart and dumps it out. So in here we've got the function name. If there's nothing after the function name, so it remains compatible with the way it used to work. If there's no, like this action here could be something like, I don't know, render screen with brackets in it inside the string. That would be, of course. The parameters would be key and value pairs. So the parameter name and the value of the parameter. So if this was like a function that to draw an image, let's just say that, we might have x equals and then the value, and then there's a delimited character. It's not actually the comma character in this case. It's I think it's something else. I think it's character 10. It's an invisible character. Yeah, it is. So anyway, what this does is it breaks down the parameters and then pushes them onto the parameter stack. So when we return to where this call came from, we can check if the function exists. If it does exist, we can call it, but we don't need to know the parameters. Because some functions will be calling that require parameters, other functions won't. So inside, such a function like that, which I think was the run, wasn't it? Yeah, run backup. It queries the past parameter on the current stack. It's a little variant stack, so we're retrieving that as an integer, even though it might have been actually pushed as a float, or it might have been pushed as a string even. It will return the value of that the best it possibly can. And that's how the menus work. So in other words, we've got the icon stuff there as well actually. So run backup, history, yep. On click. This on-click is just calling that function directly. It has no parameters. If we wanted to have parameters, we would have to add them into the string, and then that decoding routine we just looked at would break them down and store those things on the call stack, which is up in this variance library over here somewhere. So all this stuff's just posted to the forums. There's nothing new in this stuff. I think I posted this unbelievably, it's like 6-7 years ago on how to do this stuff. This little library here just gives us a way of doing what we're doing. We can call functions. We have one call loop that calls whatever function we want, and we can pass the data we need in whatever way we want, really. All works pretty well. That's really about it, really. I must admit, with having the console stuff handle hovering and clicking, it's been very useful. It just makes the whole output thing much more interactive. It feels like a real tool all of a sudden, without having to have a menu and run through the menu or a key combination to do something. Much more intuitive. I think that'll about do it. Alright dudes, see you next time. Bye.